Hey guys, welcome back to Class with Cass. For those of you who are new to my channel, I'm Cassandra. I'm a junior at Yale. This week, we are talking about what it's actually like to attend Yale. My first year, I also applied to be a first-year liaison called an FL for the Chinese American Students Association, otherwise known as CASA. So through CASA, I got to spend a lot of time in what is known as the AACC, is the Asian American Cultural Center. It's just this actual cultural house. So as a first-year liaison, I got to help out with all of CASA's events, whether they were political or social, community building. Yeah, super fun. A lot of food involved. So that was really cool for me to kind of reconnect with my heritage in that way. Also at that time, I was taking Chinese to fulfill my language requirements. I had the privilege of organizing specific events like Mooncake Festival and the Casa Cultural Showcase, which was so much fun to organize. A lot of amazing acts from so many talented people. One of my most important extracurriculars is Christian life at Yale. Pretty much as soon as I stepped onto campus, I was involved in this organization called Christian Union. One of the things that distinguishes Christian Union from other Yale ministries is that we have 4 full-time ministry fellows who lead our Bible courses and provide a lot of one-on-one discipleship with students. Another awesome thing about CU is that we have a ministry house, which we lovingly call the Mouse. Honestly, it's like one of my favorite spaces on campus. It's just so warm and cozy, and the kitchen is there for anyone who wants to use it. You can always go there to study, to hang out. It's just open to anyone, and I love it there. It's like my second home. We also go on a lot of retreats, which is really fun. Here are some photos from past years, like just beautiful locations, lots of fun. We like to shoot Nerf guns at each other. We just revert back to like our 12-year-old selves during these retreats. And if you come to Yale, be sure to hit me up because you will be invited to 3D Mafia. What is 3D Mafia? It's a CU staple. It's like regular Mafia, except in a house where all the lights are turned off and you wander in the dark. And it's really fun, really mysterious, really exciting. I love playing that game. Every year there's a big conference for all the Christian unions across the Ivy Leagues to come together, and at this conference there's a spoken word competition. The point of this competition is to rearrange Bible verses to make a totally new poem and then perform it in innovative ways. So Yale took home second place when I was on the team my first year, and that was just so exciting to see Yale back on the leadership board. I want to talk about majors, my double majors. I mean, you've heard a little bit about my theater studies major, so I'll just tell you a few more cool things about it. There is an emphasis on both the intellectual and practical aspects of theater, so about half and half. For example, for the practical sides of theater, I've taken a playwriting workshop with like 6 people in it. So every week we like workshopped, we had to bring in pages to workshop, which really made me into a better playwright. That was on the practical side. What else is practical? You know, acting classes. They offer lighting classes, sound design classes, singing classes. Something that I've been doing this semester, which has been the joy of my life, is stage combat. If you want, you can read a blog piece that I wrote about it below. And yeah, here are some videos of me doing stage combat. On the more intellectual side of theater, I've taken, theater history. I'm in a really cool 2-person seminar called Performances of Protest right now, Performances of Resistance. Super cool way to analyze protest movements that is through the lens of theater. So that's just a sample of like some of the theater classes I've taken. As for my other major, it's called Ethnicity, Race, and Migration. It's a relatively brand new major at Yale. Like, it's only been around for, I think, like 20 years. And it came to fruition because Yale students demanded it. So that's another thing about Yale culture, actually, is that I think students are really active politically, and there is a sense of always pushing back on Yale admin, which I think is really healthy. So Yale students wanted this program to be put into place, and 20 years later, here it is as a major. Funny story actually, last spring, we were in danger of losing our major because Yale admin was going to take away funding from supporting our major, or did not give us enough funding and did not give the major enough hiring power. And so 13 tenured faculty members wanted to step out in protest, hoping that Yale would cave in. And ultimately Yale granted ER&M what we demanded, and so that was a really big win for our community. But at the same time, it's a reminder that the fight continues still. Like, this type of program is not nearly valued enough at places like Yale or any university really. Ethnic studies is really important, and a lot of critical work and scholarship and activism takes place there. So hoping that Yale will support ER&M more in the future. Some of my favorite classes that I've taken in ER&M, I would say a class called White America. It was a seminar with about half of us were POC and the other half were white students. So that was a really interesting dialogue. Basically what that class gave me was the tools to articulate what I've already known. What I mean by that is we all carry like experiential knowledge, and so this class just gave me the vocabulary to like formulate that into words. A book that I do recommend, highly recommend from this class, is called White Fragility. Really changed the way that I speak about things and sort of see the world. I also got to take a class called Critical Refugee Studies that also like fundamentally changed the way I see the world. Highly recommend it if you're coming to Yale. Like, honestly, this major is so important and life-changing. Everyone should be mandated to take at least a few classes in this major. My professors have also been really, really cool in the way they accommodate for like final papers. This is a major where faculty really encourages like new ways of thinking, new ways of being, and as like an artistic person, like that has been my way of learning. So for example, for my critical refugee studies final project, I put together a collection of original poetry. I did blackout poetry on news articles that I collected. I also turned those poetry into like physical pieces of like artwork. Another final project that I'm like super proud of was for this class called American Fascism, and I ended up writing like a 17-page paper about whether or not MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe, superheroes are fascistic devices or not. So that was really cool to like spend a lot of time on like a huge passion of mine, which is superheroes. Another really fun project, okay, I'll stop with the project soon, but really have to say this. Another really fun project that I've been working on is this 20-pager for this semester, and it's going to be about settler colonialism and movement memory in various adaptations of Peter Pan. So I guess for me, what Yale has really taught me and given me the skills for is to become a true scholar of pop culture. Okay, back to the broader day-to-day life at Yale. So what's New Haven like? I think New Haven is really, really cute and quaint. There's a lot of cafes in the area, a lot of really cute boutiques, lots of study spaces. There are many grocery stores within walking distance. Everything on Yale's campus is pretty much walking distance. A lot of people travel by longboard, I think that's what you call it, like the longer version of a skateboard. I choose to travel by scooter. I'm really proud of it. I love my scooter. The fact that Yale has like 14 different residential colleges means 14 like small libraries, in addition to like the major gorgeous libraries to study at. Each courtyard is so unique and so cute just to like sit on the hammocks and like hang out with your friends. When you're an upperclassman, when you like move off of old campus, you go live at your residential college, like that is truly to me an upgrade, because a lot of the residential colleges have tunnels, so you don't even have to go outside to get access to your dining hall, your gym, your art room, your dance room, your theater, your library, like all of these resources. Like I could literally not see sunlight for a few days and be totally fine, although who would want to do that? Something that's also really cool about residential colleges is that your dean of college and your head of college, two very important people in your life, they actually live in that residential college like with you. Which is super cool when you get to see your head of college or your dean bring their like 5-year-old or 4-year-old to the dining hall. It's just so sweet. It really gives you a sense of like family, of community. You can play with their dogs in their courtyard. It's just lovely. So I mentioned sunlight, and yeah, that was a major concern for me, a total West Coaster and like California girl. Moving to the East Coast, I was a little petrified, but like, why did I choose the East Coast in the first place? Because when else am I going to experience seasons? And yeah, I think my like terror of like weather turned out to be a good thing, because I ended up being like 10 times more prepared than other people who were just like totally unprepared. The secret to dealing with cold weather is you just need one really, really, really good coat. That's it. Plus, I find that Yale actually has quite more sunshine than I previously thought. Like a lot of our days are really sunny, and it's just quite nice out. Another thing about New Haven is that we're only 2 hours away from New York City. You take a $17 train ride one way that takes you straight to Grand Central. It's so convenient. I went pretty often because I love Broadway and I just want to see as many shows as possible. So I'll just take day trips by myself. I've gone with my friends, done amazing food stops in New York. So it's like the perfect mix of like campus life. And then if you want, like city life is there, just albeit 2 hours away. Okay, I want to talk about studying abroad. Now, a lot of Yaleys, I don't know what the number is, it's something insane, but many of us study abroad during the summer. It's a super popular time to study abroad, and Yale has like a ton of resources to support studying abroad in the summer. My first year summer through Yale, I got to go to Japan for 2 weeks, a super cool abroad course about history and politics of Japan, and the opportunity itself was I found through Yale. The funding I received from University of Tokyo, which was where I was studying. Last summer, I got to do 3 weeks of studying abroad in Sweden, which was so much fun. It wasn't a Yale program, but it's like affiliated with Yale. My funding was completely from Yale, which covered all 3 weeks. Amazing. My class was called Glued to the TV Screen, which was basically a course comparing like Scandinavian TV to American TV. And finally, the biggest adventure of my life was last semester. It was so much fun. I went abroad for an entire semester to Amsterdam in the Netherlands. The program I did isn't a Yale program. It's a third-party organization called CIEE, but this particular program, a few Yaleys had gone beforehand, so there were like really positive reports on it, and they were all true. I had the time of my life. It was so much fun, learned so much about myself, about like living in another country, about being so far away from your family, about other cultures. Just broadens your imagination for ways of living. I also had the chance to travel to, I think 9 or 10 other countries during my time in the Netherlands. The best part was all of this was on the Yale dime. So when you study abroad for the semester, your financial aid transfers, which was amazing for me. Loved it. So that's it from me today. That was a lot, I know, but I hope it's somewhat helpful for those of you who have yet to make your decisions and those of you who will be writing why Yale on your essays and your applications. But as always, leave any questions that you have in the comments below, or join my Facebook group if you want to post longer, more detailed questions. I'm Cassandra. We'll catch you next time on Class with Cass. And yeah, have a good one, guys. Bye.